everybody, so today I'm going to be showing you guys how to get this everyday smoky look, and I'm also going to show you guys my quick and easy contour and highlight, so if you'd like to see this, please keep watching. Alrighty guys, so I have my hair pulled back. The only thing that I realized was as I got out of the shower, I went and I put on my Origins CC creams. So that's my base that I always start with, and that is actually what I have on my face right now, so I don't want to forget to include that. It's just a skin complexion corrector. That's all I use before I put on any makeup. And then the only other thing that I did do without realizing it was I curled my eyelashes. Other than that, now you're caught up, so let's begin. All right, I'm gonna zoom you guys in a little bit more so you guys can see me, my face. You're gonna be so close. The first product that I'm going to start with today is my Bésame color corrector in vanilla. This brightening vanilla powder is something that I put on my cheeks and my nose just because those tend to be where I'm always red. My Origins color corrector that I put on first always tends to help that also, but this just kind of helps to cover it a little bit more, and it does a really great job. So all I do is pour some into the lid and just tap it onto my cheeks and my nose. Next, I'm going to use my other color corrector for underneath my eyes. It is by Makeup Forever. It is the Ultra HD Invisible Cover Concealer, and it's in the shade R32. All I do with this is dot it under my eyes, and then I go in with a brush and blend it out. I am going to use the SEPHORA Pro Collection flat concealer brush in the number 76, and then I'm just gonna blend it out underneath my eye, and I sometimes carry it up and over just to eliminate any darkness. It's just a really, really awesome makeup product for covering up dark spots. Next, I'm going to move to my concealer. That's gonna go over the spots that I just covered, and I put a little around my nose also. This concealer is by far my favorite one that I've ever used. In the last video that I did a makeup look for you guys, I went online to try and link it, and they don't sell it anymore, and I was so bummed, and I'm almost out of this, so I'm gonna have to find a new one, and then I will share that with you guys. But until then, I'm gonna use the rest of this. I'm kind of running out, but if you guys can find this anywhere, I highly recommend it. It's the YSL Anti-Cernes, however you say that, concealer, and I have it in the number 3. As I said before, I'm just going to put a little around my nose and underneath my eyes. I'll kind of carry it down into a triangle just because that overall helps to brighten my face also. Then that I'll just blend with my fingers. If you want to, you can apply a primer on your face before you move to foundation, but because this is just an everyday look that I'm going for, I'm just gonna go in with my foundation because, I mean, I don't need to do that extra step. I got this as a sample and I really, really like it, especially for a quick on-the-go foundation. It's by Clinique. It's the Chubby in the Nude foundation stick, and I have it in the number 9 Normous Neutral. This I love because you literally can just draw on your foundation, and then I just go in with a simple sponge and just blend it in after. When I don't really feel like doing my makeup or doing the whole shebang, I just kind of do the stick foundation, and then I also use 2 other Clinique sticks, one for contour and one for my highlight. These are awesome. I got the highlight as a sample and I just loved it. I read the reviews about the contour stick, so I bought this one because it had really good reviews, and I am loving them both so far. They're so easy to use. I also like the powders that you can use for contouring and highlighting, but these are just really convenient, really simple to use. And then all I'm gonna do to blend them is just use my little sponge again. I kind of use the slanted side for my contour, and then I use the flat side to kind of blot in my highlight. This sponge is just one of the basic ones that they sell at Sephora. I don't think it's called anything specific, but I'll try and link it for you guys in the description. So first I'm gonna go in with my contour stick, and I'm going to apply it on the sides of my nose. I'm also going to do a little bit on my forehead, and then I kind of suck in my cheeks. That's kind of my trick to kind of find my cheekbone, and then I'm just gonna apply that right over the cheekbone. And then I also tend to apply a little bit just on my jawline on both sides. As you guys can see, it comes out really dark, but I found it blends so well, and I really just love this product. I highly recommend it. It blends very well, and it's nice that it shows up so dark because you can actually see what you're doing or like where you're putting it. Next, I'm going to take my highlight stick and I'm going to apply it on the top of my forehead, down the center of my nose, my cupid's bow, my chin, and then underneath my contour on my cheeks, well, underneath more towards my chin, and then a little bit on top of my cheekbone. Once I've done that, I start by blending my contour first and then my highlight after. The trick I found with contouring, the best way to do it is to blend it towards the center of your face. I guess that's what you're supposed to do for contouring, so it's good to only put a little bit on the sides of the cheeks, and that way you can blend it forward. Once I've done that, then like I said before, I'm going to use the other end of my sponge and just kind of blotch it. So when I say that, I hope that's probably not the best description, but all I'm gonna do is really tap it to blend it. That way it keeps the highlight. I found when you kind of like smear it like the contour, it really takes away the color. So then you have to add more and it's just kind of counterproductive. So I'm gonna start by doing that. Okay, so that is it. Sometimes I'll notice, you know, a little bit on my cheek that it's a little too noticeable, so I'll just use my fingers and just kind of blend it a little bit more. It's really nice to be able to do that with your face instead of sitting there and doing the foundation, bronzer, and blush. Sometimes I probably actually, when I finish my look, I'll go back and add a little bit of blush to finish it off, but I really like the way that this looks. It looks a lot, I wouldn't say it looks very natural, because it's obviously noticeable that I have very highlighted parts of my face and some that are darker, but it's natural-ish, I would say. It's not like one of those very extreme contours where you're like, oh my god, she's totally contouring, you know? So, and it's a nice option because it's so fast, it's so easy to do. And I found that the products that I used are really great at staying all day. I don't really notice in, you know, my color fading throughout the day or anything like that. So that is it for my face. I am now going to move to my eyebrows. So for my brows, I am using two products today. I've mentioned these before. These are my two new goodies that I've featured in a few other makeup videos, but they are both by Anastasia Beverly Hills. This is the Brow Definer in Soft Brown. And then I also have the Anastasia Beverly Hills Clear Brow Gel. So first I'm going to go in with my brow definer and I'm going to start in the inner part of my brow. When you do your brows, you really want the inner corners of your brows to be lighter than the rest of it. It's just kind of a cool trick to remember because they look more natural that way. If you don't want them to look as natural, then by all means you can fill them in as much as you want, but this is something I've noticed that does really make them look natural. As you can see for my brows, mine are already very sparse towards the center, so I will go through and apply quite a bit of this, but not too much where it's super noticeable. What's nice about this is because it has kind of a thicker tip, you can go through it and just kind of feather right through it and form the brow shape and then match it to the other one. It's so easy to use, and so I'm gonna do that now. So after I fill those in, obviously they're very noticeable, so I flip the brush over and I use the spoolie part of the brush and I just go through and I'm just gonna brush them through. This helps to just blend the color out. Okay, so after I'm finished with that, I'm going to go in with my brow gel and I'm basically gonna do the same movements that I did with my brow definer with the spoolie end of the brush just to brush them out. That's all this is gonna do, and this is gonna help to keep them in place all day so you don't have those stray hairs that are moving around. So now I am finally going to move to my eyes. I'm going to start with the Urban Decay eyeshadow primer in Original. I'm going to apply this all over my lid, and this is gonna be the base before I put on my eyeshadows. So because I'm going to be doing an everyday smoky eye, a lot of people don't think about putting eyeshadow primer underneath on their lower lid as well. A lot of people just stick to the top, which is totally fine and it works great, but you also need to remember to put it on your lower lash line because if you're gonna be doing a smoky look, you tend to bring the colors underneath your eye as well, so you really want those to stay all day also. And the primer is not only for the eyeshadows to stay all day, it actually helps to bring out what the eyeshadow color is actually supposed to be because it's a base. So if you put it right on your skin, it's kind of going to mess with the color a little bit. This helps so that doesn't happen. So all I'm going to do is take this little wand and go directly under both lash lines. Okay, so now that I've done that, I am moving to my eyeshadows now. I'm going to be using the Urban Decay Naked Smoky palette. Yes, this is the very famous palette. I love this palette. I do all of my smoky looks with this palette. I don't tend to do them very much just because I'm a very natural person, so I don't do this very often, but when I do, it's a nice way to change up my look, and it's kind of fun sometimes just to sit there and do your makeup. I have fun with it, so that's what I'm going to show you guys today. I do use the brush that it comes with. It's a dual-ended brush, one with kind of a crease brush and then one with a basic shadow dome brush. I think it works really well. You can use other brushes if you do want to, but I basically stick to this. So I'm going to start my smoky eye using the Combust color on the Naked Smoky palette. It doesn't have any shine to it, it's just a very neutral color. I'm just going to use this to highlight underneath my brow bone a little bit and drag it down into my crease. It's just a very basic color first. I forgot to mention, although I was dragging the color into my crease, I am only using the smaller end of the brush. I'm not going to use the crease brush for that just because I want this color to be a little bit more precise. So that's it. This is what it looks like with just that color. It does a good job highlighting underneath the brow bone a little bit, so it's nice. Next, I am going to go for a very dark color. It is the gray color in the palette called Armor. I'm going to use the smudger end of the brush for that, and I'm going to start in the inner corner of my eye and then work my way up just towards the crease. I'm not going to completely cover my lid with that because that would be too dark. I just want to draw some attention to the inner corners of my eye and then pull it upwards to kind of open my eyes up a little bit. I'm so sorry guys, I gotta backtrack again. I forgot to tell you that if you do own this palette, it does come with a little information booklet which gives you a lot of different looks to do. Ooh, got some powder in my eye. Hang on. I'm actually using that to do the everyday smoky look that it has in it. That's what I tend to follow when I do my everyday smoky look. So if you guys get the palette, you can also have that and it'll show you how to do it also. But I just figured I'd show you guys because this is kind of my go-to everyday smoky look anyway. Okay, so I zoomed you guys in a little bit more just so you can see this a little bit better. I am switching to this brush actually. I know I said I normally stick to that one, but I think that this will be easier to use. I'm using the SEPHORA Collection Pro brush, the shader brush, which is number 18. As you can see, it's got quite a smaller head than the other brush, so I think that this will work a little bit better because I'm going to go in with the Armor color once again, the gray color that I just used on the inner corners of my eye, and I'm going to do the outer corners of my eye now without connecting it all across my lid, and then I'm going to drag it slightly underneath my eye, also under my lower lash. Okay, so as you guys can see, that made it very dramatically a lot more darker, a lot more smoky looking, but that's obviously what I'm going for today. And you can kind of do what you want with it. If you'd like it darker, you can obviously apply more. In the picture, it looks quite a bit darker than what I normally do, so I just kind of don't put it everywhere that it says or as heavy. So I'm going to go back with the smoky brush and I'm going to use the crease brush. I'm going to use the matte gray color of the palette. It's called Password. And I'm going to kind of soften this out with this color by starting from the outer corner and kind of working my way up into the crease. So, as you can see, that definitely made it more smoky, but it helped to soften out kind of all the sparkles that was going on from the Armor color. I'm going to continue with that color with the smudger side of the brush. Same color, I'm going to use Password, and I'm going to bring that underneath my lower lash line as well. Although you can go all the way across with this, I tend to only go down about a quarter of my eye. I don't want it to be too overwhelming. That's kind of why I don't do the whole lower lash. At this point in the look in the booklet, I kind of do what I want to with this. This is a little too dark for me for everyday look. Although it does say in the booklet to use the Perversion 24/7 eye pencil, I do not have that pencil. I have the NARS Larger Than Life Long Wear Eyeliner, which I am going to use, and I have this in black. I'm going to use this pencil and line only about halfway, I would say, maybe even a quarter, because I don't want it to be crazy, underneath on my lower lash. And then I'm going to line my top lash. But I'm going to make it as tight to my lashes as possible because I don't want it to be super smoky because it's supposed to be an everyday smoky look. So I'm going to start with that. Okay, so now that I've done that, I'm going to use my smudger brush and I am just going to go over the lines that I just did with my eyeliner and smudge them in a little bit. Now, because this looks way too heavy for me, I'm going to go back in with my Pro Shader brush and I'm going to use the shade High. It's the first one in the palette. Light shiny pink, and that's gonna overall help to brighten this up a little bit. I'm going to apply this towards the inner corner of my eye and then pretty much all over my lid because I really want to lighten this up. So as you guys can see, that lighter color definitely helped lighten it up a little bit. It's still very dark. It's not something that I typically wear, even though it is an everyday smoky option. I tend to be a lot more natural than this. If anything, the everyday smoky look is something that I would wear out at night just because the super dark ones are a little too dark for me, but if you like smoky eyes and you want to wear it during the day, this is a great option, and you can kind of play with the colors and just kind of stick to what I did where I put certain colors, and you can substitute other colors if you'd like. I'm going to finish my look today, finally, with the Too Faced Better Than Sex mascara. This is definitely one of my all-time favorite mascaras. I'm going to apply this both to my top lashes and my bottom, and then I'm going to be done. So before I finish this video off, I would just like to add, I mean, if you guys want to, obviously I would add a lip color of your choice and some sort of finishing powder on top of this if you want to really set in your contour. And yeah, so that is it, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe if you are not. Let me know if you guys want to see some more makeup videos and what you guys want to see, because I tend to designate my Monday videos to beauty videos, whether it's hair or makeup. So please leave me any suggestions that you guys have. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you in my next video.